Hello. So this is new for me, so don't judge. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Also, let me know if my mic's working and stuff, so I know. Hi, Jayla. How's it going? Cool. Thank you. I guess we're just waiting for some people to get in here. So, how's everybody's day going? I hope my camera is looking good. It's a little choppy. I'm using like a little webcam. I've been good. Um, it's kind of a big day. I think my boyfriend's getting his new truck here, so we're gonna go pick that up soon. So I just figured I'd come on for a minute and hang out with you guys and you know talk. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. Mm. But yeah, the whole point of this is a Q&A. If anybody has any questions, for me personally, or due to like transitioning, like HRT or like voice stuff, whatever you guys want to talk about, like this is your chance to kind of one-on-one with me and maybe get to know me better or, you know, whatever. Thank you, Mina. I I just checked that and saw that I got 3,000 and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." It seems like it's about once every 2 weeks I go up 1,000. Um, so voice feminization personally for me, took a very long time, and I'm not perfect at it, and I don't think anybody is, like, perfect, you know? We, um, we all kind of fluctuate in our voice daily. When I first wake up in the morning, I'm a lot lower and gravelly and talk like that, you know, like I'm just not like awake. But as I wake up, I feel like I can express my voice better. Um, so yeah, it's something that definitely takes a long time, and you kind of practice uh, bits and pieces of different experiences, like waking up or on the phone or drive-throughs, you know, on the fly, stuff like that. So, um, for me, voice work was more of like, kind of an afterthought. Uh, it was like something that I was, I guess, gonna just get the surgery on, and then as time went on, I was like, "Well, I don't think I'm gonna do that." So, I started practicing and I started recording myself. That's like my number one tip is just, you know, get your little recorder on your phone and talk to it, hear yourself back and play that a lot, um, and kind of tweak things a little bit, stuff like that. Am I planning any FFS procedures? That's a loaded question because it sounds like you're saying I need them. No, I'm just kidding. um, Yes, I was gonna work at Starbucks for a little while and do like a full FFS. I was gonna do hairline lowering, jaw, like chin reduction, like a sliding genioplasty, I think. I was gonna get my nose done because it's crooked due to my cleft lip. I was gonna get my trachea shaved, a little bit off my brow bone, but you know, as time goes on, I realize that it's not like a life-changing thing. So I'm definitely shooting for, um, like, you know, top and bottom surgeries first, which I've done the top. So once bottom's over, if there's anything left over that makes me dysphoric or uncomfortable, such as my trachea, like that's when I would, you know, go for that. Let's see. I feel like you used to be a lot more dysphoric about yourself. Reddit posts, but recently changed. Um, I think honestly, the thing that has changed was I'm in a relationship and my partner has been super, super, super supportive and reassuring to me that, I'm seen as a beautiful woman in public and stuff, and that's gone a long way. Like, that's not to say that I'm not still dysphoric. I'm very much dysphoric, um, on occasion, but generally, it has to do with things like tucking, or maybe just, like, my shoulders. I'm still really dysphoric about my shoulders, which is unfortunate because you can't really do anything about that. Um, but generally, I'm a much more positive person now, and that's really cool that you see that. I don't know if I'm a voice for the community, but I definitely would like to share my own experiences more often, and, if it benefits anybody, that's the goal. Let's see. Yeah, voice is definitely extremely, uh, dysphoric in general. I believe whenever I would first go through drive-throughs and, I still looked about the same as I do now before I worked on my voice, and it's funny 'cause I just kinda expected them to, like, see me and, like, know I'm a girl, but, like, because my voice naturally Imma do this for you guys. So, it's hard to get it down here, but it was, like, super, super low, and, like, as I kinda trained it up, you can eventually pitch it higher, you learn how to control it. I used to sing a lot, so that went a long way for me, and once you pitch it really high, then, you kind of add on certain sounds to that. Like, I tend to do a very heavy "essy" sound with my voice, like, right behind my teeth, and then, like, I smile when I talk, and it kind of brightens the sound, and it sounds, more appealing and more feminine. But, like, initially, my voice was, like, super low and super kinda country sounding. But, yeah, we don't do that no more. Um not it's a cool party trick, I'll say that. I went to a party, it was like a complete, all girls party, and, there was a girl there, and she was like, "Why are you so tall?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, like, you're just super tall and super pretty," like, she's like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "I'm from here." She's like, "You seem like you're, like, I don't know, Polish or something." And I was like, "Well, I used to be a boy." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." Um, so it kinda took her off, she was like, "Well," she was like, "Your body's so, like, curvy and your voice is so pretty, like, ho," and I was like, I don't know, it just happened." Um, thank you, Mila. Yeah, I spent a lot of time practicing on it, and since it was such a dysphoric thing for me, my voice, um, it it's something that I have grown to only work on more as time goes on. And now if I fluctuate, like if I wake up in the morning and it's lazy, I kinda clock myself. I'm like, ooh, that sounded rough." Like, so, it definitely takes some practice. Yeah, so if you're new here, I see there's a bunch more people. Feel free to ask any questions, and I will gladly, directly talk to you and answer your questions. Strange icebreaker. Yeah, I know. Very strange. It was a fun experience because it was nice to like it was like a sleepover for girls, and we were all in kind of like lingerie and pretty and stuff. Um, and it was just surprising that she was like, "Why are you so tall and pretty? Like, where are you from? Are you like from a different country?" And I was like, "No, I just used to be a guy." And she was like, "I didn't expect that." um, Thank you. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was so upset because, like, I bought these and I bought, like, a matching mouse, like, I don't know if you can see it all back here, just, like, a microphone, keyboard, mouse, like, the whole gaming thing. Anyway, I used to have a different headset, and I decided to buy this one, and, like, 2 days later, I saw Blair White posted, and she had, like, the same earphone thing, and I was like, "Oh, she stole my stuff." I was so upset. I legitimately thought I was like, like, "This is gonna be, like, a cute little theme for me," and she stole my gamer girl setup. Um, anyway, so back to the questions. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Maybe, like, HRT, dosage, surgeries. I did post my 1-month breast augmentation, which that's going wonderfully. Yeah, anything and everything. Legal changes. I wanna do a video specifically talking about how to, like, change your name legally and how I did that. I know Georgia's probably a lot different. I've also updated my gender, so I'm, like, legally female and everything. Um, yeah, just anything and everything. I'm here to hang out with you guys until my boyfriend needs me, then I'm gonna disappear, and we're gonna go pick up his new truck, so very excited. Hey, how's it going? Let's see, what else can we talk about? Do you take um, so I started out on pills. I took the little sublingual tablets, and I would let them dissolve, and I took 3 a day, 2 milligrams each, so I was on 6 milligrams of the pill version, and I didn't feel like I was feminizing fast enough, and I looked back at pictures and I was like, I could tell I was making progress, I just felt like it was slow progress, and I talked to my endocrinologist, and she was like, "Well, we can switch to injections, but they're harder to come by." Oh, so big thing, if you plan on switching to injections or if you are on injections and you're having trouble getting them, I know some people, um I forget what you call it, where you, like, take your pills and they turn them into, um, injections. Like, injections are very hard to come by right now, like the estradiol valerate or whatever. Use, Amazon Pharmacy. I've never had a single problem with Amazon Pharmacy. I get refills anytime that I want. Um, but yeah, I'm currently on injections. I think I take, um 10 milligram, 0.25 or something like that. Um, and it's done me very well. I haven't had any side effects from it. My mood is steady. My levels, I get tested um, right before I take my next shot, and I'm still over like 200 or right around the 200 mark. So, like, even the lowest dip is still not that low. Um, so I have better peaks. So I think I'm feminizing a lot more because of that. I have not tried gels or patches. Uh, they just never really interested me. Patches are a little better, but I'm not really a fan of having the thing stuck to me all day. Let's see. After how many meetings did you start getting hormones? So in Georgia and Tennessee, where I get mine, you only have to do informed consent. So I basically was like, I'm going to start transitioning. And I called an endocrinologist and she was like, okay, we'll go get tested. And then the next day, like, she prescribed me pills and I started taking them. So it was immediate here. I know a lot of other places require you to do therapy, or they have wait lists, things like that. But I did not have any of those issues in my state. Let's see. Do I play Fortnite? I used to. I don't play Fortnite anymore. Um, basically, the only games that I play, is Super Smash Brothers. I I used to play a lot of fighting games, uh, but, like, if you see my Reddit, it's like Rena FGC, that's fighting game community. I played a lot of, like, Street Fighter and Blaze Blue and stuff like that. I was a hardcore fighting game player. Let's see. Well, okay, so I can admire people who live stealth. That's ultimately the goal, and I don't like wearing my transness on my sleeve. It's never been part of me. to, like, shake somebody's hand, like, "Hi, I'm trans," like, while it's cool to share my experiences and benefit other people, I don't think I would ever be, like, or even want to be as open as somebody like Blair White, where, she's constantly, like, out in the world dealing with trans things. I don't really feel like I want to be an activist, I just want to potentially better other people's life. And yeah, go ahead and ask about anything, like absolutely anything. I'm an open book. Um, Anything that you guys want to talk about, like I'm here. Let's see. Um, is electrolysis permanent? Yes. So I initially started with electrolysis and I believe I did. Oh, it's so expensive. I want to do a video on that. I think that's the second number or the second most wanted video for me. I did a poll the other day. And so laser is far more inexpensive. I think I paid 1,500 for like my full face and neck, and I was going all the time. But electrolysis, I think, was like $80 a week, and I had to go once a week, and it was excruciating pain. I loved the the instant look of it. It immediately showed up, and it laser for me felt like a rubber band, like hitting my cheek. Like it didn't hurt. But electrolysis, they stick a needle in each one of your follicles, and especially the upper lip. Like my boyfriend gave me like a lidocaine shot to numb me. Um, so like there's ways to deal with it, but oh man, it's so painful. And $80 a week adds up really fast. Like that's $300 a month, but it usually doesn't take that long. I believe you could do like 6 months of electrolysis and you just never have to worry about facial hair ever again. Um, but yeah, that's a struggle. Let's see. Hi, Ada. Nice to meet you. I'm trying to catch up on these comments, guys. Sorry. How much was your breast augmentation? So initially, the quote that I got was 70,000, and I was like, "That's way too much." But I think that's, like, if all else, if crazy stuff happens, like they have to do some crazy work or whatever. But I think in total, it came out to 20,000 on my top surgery, my breasts, and I only had to pay the out-of-pocket maximum for my insurance, which was 3,000. And I had a GoFundMe on my page, and you guys have all shown me so much love with that. I think I got like $800, and every bit of it went straight towards my breast augmentation. So that was really cool. But yeah, I got 250 cc's. I initially wanted 350, but I got what they call subfascial, which is um, it's like a thinner tissue on the top of your breast muscle. So, like, I don't have, like, the under the chest muscle, so, like, when I flex, my breast doesn't move. It's more natural looking, but it also is, less painful and less recovery time, but they can't go as big. Like, if you're wanting, like, 450 cc's, which a lot of trans girls go for, I don't think that it will fit with the method that I got. Um, let's see. Do you have any advice for someone having a hard time coming to terms with their trans identity? So I experienced that quite a bit, and I want to do a video exclusively on this. But, you know, I knew as early as like 5 years old. Um, I remember, I was raised Christian, and I remember like going to bed at night, like doing the little like pray thing, and I'd be like, please let me wake up a girl. Like I knew what I was and knew how I felt, and it it sucked for a really long time, and I think that eventually, um, you kind of just coast, and I just assumed that I was gonna be a boy forever, just, had no idea, and then I saw a trans YouTuber when I was about 19, and I was like, "You you can do that? Like, you can look like a girl and, like, act like a girl and just be a girl in society and people don't question it, like, that's a thing, like and for another, 9 years, 8 years, I basically pushed it aside and, lived as like a gay male, and I knew that whoever was falling in love with me wasn't falling in love with the real me because I knew I was just a woman, and that I came to terms when I had the opportunity to transition and I saw, um, some coworkers that were trans and how their life was, and I was like, like, I'm just gonna pull the trigger on it, and I did, and I have never looked back, not once. I feel, never better. Um, it it's kind of like you roll the dice on it. You don't know how you're gonna look, you don't know how you're gonna sound, you don't know how people are gonna treat you, but as long as it makes you happy, none of any of that other stuff matters. Like, as long as you look more feminine, that may be enough for you to just say, like, "I'm happy with my life now," and, that should be worth it. It was worth it for me. I never thought I would pass. I had pictures from way back when, and I didn't assume I was gonna go anywhere with it, and I'm so happy to be sitting where I am now, living my life. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm really reading up on these comments. Thoughts on SRS? So I want bottom surgery, 200%. That's one of my most dysphoric things. You know, sexually or just, physically out in public, it's super dysphoric for me. And I wish you guys could see my makeup. I see what you just said, but like, it's so cute. It's like this blue shimmery color under here. But my camera can't pick it up that well. Anyway, yeah, so bottom surgery is a must for me, and I'm going to one of the best in the country. I'm going to Wittenberg in March, and, I wanna do, like, a full documentary and everything on that and show you guys, my experiences with it. It's, it'll be a really difficult step, for, like, 3 months or so. Like, it's a very hard process, but I have my boyfriend's support and, it'll be perfect. So that definitely 10 out of 10 will go with bottom surgery. I just wanna make sure that I'm going with the right person. Um, so if you're new here, I see I got like 30 people now. Feel free to ask any questions, anything that you want to know about me or about my journey or just in general. I will gladly answer as best I can. Um, oh yeah, see, if you're if you're wanting to transition and you're living as a gay male, that's very difficult. I think I mentioned it to my last boyfriend, and he was like, "I'm not attracted to women," and I think that's one of the reasons why I pushed it off for so long. Um, and yeah, it's definitely something to deal with. Uh, what's better, their happiness or yours? They could break up with you 10 years from now, and then all you do is look back on all the time that you missed, that you could have been happy and could have been yourself. So you definitely have to, you know, talk with them personally. If they love you, if they truly love you, then it doesn't matter if you transition or not. You're still the same person. Um, it's it's a doozy because transitioning changes a lot of things. It changes your sex drive. It changes like your moods, your emotions, all that stuff. When I first started transitioning, God, I was so moody. It was the worst. Is SRS in Thailand worth considering? Um, I think so, yeah. I mean, they have, like, a 3rd gender over there, basically. Like, they have, like, male, female, and ladyboy. That's a real thing. Don't clock me for that. Um, like, they're good at the surgeries, it's cheaper, but it's usually out of pocket. I don't think any US, insurance will cover, like, out of country, costs like that. If they do, awesome, great. It's usually really good. There was one I was looking into, um, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Starts with an S, but he does really good work. He does peritoneal pull-throughs. If you don't know what that is, definitely look it up because there's a few methods for, you know, bottom surgery, and it's all preference based. But if you're like me and you only want the best of the best and want to go to the top of the line person, the best ones usually offer peritoneal pull through, which is the most natural a transgender vaginoplasty can be. Um, what other trans people do you follow on YouTube? So I like Blair White. Don't clock me on that because I know a lot of people don't like her because she's political, but she's also intelligent and she's sh she has this issue where people have to pick sides with her. Like, she's so political that, like, you either love her or you hate her. And I just think that she's honest and she's real, so I think she's cool. Um, the first person I ever watched is, Myler Kubak, I believe was her name, Jordan. I followed her journey. She hasn't been on YouTube in, like, 10 years, but she was, like, my favorite trans YouTuber because she is I'm doing basically what she was doing, and she was just talking about her experiences, and 19-year-old me saw that and was like, "Wow, this is so." I think Doctor Supron or Supron, I think that's the one I was talking about. But yeah, they do a wonderful job on bottom surgery. Let's see. Did you ever have any second doubts when you started transitioning? Yes, actually. I started transitioning, and I think 2 weeks in, I I started feeling the nipple pain, like, my breasts were forming, they were, like, pointy, and I kinda panicked. I was like, "I'm never gonna look like a girl. I'm never gonna pass because of my shoulders, because of my chin, because of my brow bone," what like, all this stuff. And I just panicked, and I told myself, I was like, "Well, I need to take a break. Maybe I just need to, like, do drag and, like, express my gender some other way." Um, and I stopped hormones after 2 weeks for 2 more weeks. So basically the first month of my transition was kind of, like, cut short. And then I just I dabbled in drag and makeup and stuff, and I was like, "This isn't it." I need to live it. I don't need to pretend it or, just express it in a short term. I need to be it. It is who I am. So, yeah, I definitely had a hard time coming to terms with it at first. Is there only one standard in SRS or are there variables? Standard as in, like, quality or, like, method, or what do you mean exactly? I wanna clarify that before I start ranting about something that it's not what you wanna hear. Was I ever attracted to girls? No, not initially. I dated girls in school and high school and whatnot, but to me, like, realizing as I got older, I realized that I was attracted to males and that girls were basically just really close friends. Like, if I dated a girl, I never would, like, make a move on her, kiss her, anything like that. I didn't feel the need to. Um, oh, yeah, Samantha Lux is super cool too. I like her a lot. Um, but so initially transitioning, um, I I started kind of I guess because I was becoming a woman, I was seeing all the things that they go through and they do and, like, studying up on genitalia, all that stuff, and I think I kind of may or may not have, like, became a little intrigued in females, but not enough to actually, like, date one or have sex with one, but, like, I do find women very beautiful, a lot more than I used to, that's for sure. Have I ever kicked a guy in the nuts? That's a very strange question. Um, no, I don't think so. If I did, it was probably my brother, and he was just being mean to me. Um, let's see. Curious if you guys have any advice on coming out. I think honestly, just be honest with people around you. Um, for me, when I started transitioning, I answered any questions my family had. My brother was like, "Hey, like, why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? Like, what is in it for you?" And I, was very clear with him. And then on top of that, um, I I don't know, like, I wanted to be real with him, and I told him, I was like, "Well, I don't expect any pronouns right now, I don't expect a name, like, you know, eventually, there'll be a point where you can only see me as female, and that's when you can call me female." But I was like, "Right now, if I look male, don't call me a female because it'll just raise red flags for everybody around me." So, I was very cautious when transitioning and, I had a lot of concerns and stuff like that. Let's see. So, authenticity, cosmetic. So, there are 3 different methods for, um, bottom surgery that I know of. There's, penile inversion, which is the go-to basic method. Cosmetically, I don't think they look as good because, um, this is just personal preference, by the way. If you're considering that, it's a really thorough method. They have the most information on it. So, you know, like my preferred method isn't, necessarily the same as other people's preferred method. But to me, I haven't seen a penile inversion technique that I would personally want. I don't see them at the same natural aesthetic. Um, and there's also colovaginoplasty, where they take a donor tissue from your colon, and apparently it's probably the most accurate as far as color and feel of a cisgender woman's vagina. And the only downside is that it sometimes can produce an odor when it lubricates, much like, the natural place that it came from. Um, and then there's peritoneal pull through, where they take the inner lining of your abdomen and pull it through to the entrance of your vagina. It does not require um, hair removal. It is pink. It tends to look very natural and feel very natural. It has a little bit of give to it. Um, so it's very accurate, but also they have the least amount of studies on it. They only have like roughly like 2 years of history that they're following currently. So 5 years from now, they could just something drastic could happen or whatever. Like it varies depending on like what you want, what your long term is. But penile inversion is generally the go-to, and then peritoneal pull-through is usually the backup, but I think that I wouldn't be happy with penile inversion, so I'm gonna shoot for peritoneal pull-through. Calm down. I'm not that pretty. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Jazz Jennings. I remember I watched a little bit of that documentary. I think, um, with her case specifically, she did not have the option for penile inversion. She started hormones too young, and well, okay, not too young, but young enough to not have enough growth, with tissue. So, when I had my consultation for bottom surgery, I told them I wanted peritoneal pull-through, and I had to show him my stuff, and um he said, "Oh, well, you do have enough for, penile inversion, like, you have enough tissue there." In her case, she did not have enough tissue. Um Aw. Well, hey, Pepper, and enjoy your voice therapy, and I hope it goes well for you. But yeah, she didn't have enough tissue to invert, so they had to opt into other methods for her. Let's see. As long as you're, yeah, that's the thing is peritoneal pull-through is still relatively new, um, and, the people who did have penile inversion who may not, like their aesthetic or like their, which I've never heard anybody, say anything like, "Oh, I hate it. I wish I had done this instead." Usually the people who get, penile inversion are happy with it, and I've even considered doing it just so I would, um at least get the bottom surgery, and if I wanna revise it later, I can. But, yeah, that was, I think only in the last 2 years they've been doing peritoneal pull-through for trans women, but they've been doing it in cis women for a long time. Um, I think since, like, the '80s or even '70s, something like that, for cisgender women who were born without, a vaginal canal or they've had, like, collapse or whatever it may be. Um, that's the method where they would, correct it with the peritoneum lining. Let's see. So recently came out and you're scared to go out fully as a woman because I know that I won't pass. I think safety is always a concern. Even now, I still fear for safety issues, but um, it's something that you have to kind of take into your own hands. Like, would you rather be comfortable in public or would you rather constantly fearing for your safety? Um, there's lots of things that you have to take into account when transitioning publicly. Um, but generally, um, I think safety is the bigger concern. Maybe wait a little while, you know, see if you can feminize or like work on certain things that make you dysphoric or make you feel clockable. Um, but also, a lot of people really don't honestly care. I've seen tons of trans women in public who are new to transitioning and stuff, and like nobody gives them a second glance. Like they're just people, They're going to get groceries. They're going to, whatever it may be. Nobody really cares. There are some areas where you might not want to tread before jerks at certain places, but Lila, yeah, I know her. I watched her augmentation documentary. Um, I think she's from California, if I remember correctly. Is the weather good there? So last week it was like 80 something or 90. I think it was up in the 90s actually. But right now it's like 70, 72, something like that. So it's pretty nice at the moment. Um, pretty still fairly hot. I just got back from vacation at Orange Beach / Gulf Shores, and it was super hot down there. So coming back here, I think it's a little less hot. um, but yeah, if you're new in here, feel free to ask me any questions. I will gladly answer them for you. I might not have too much longer. I think my boyfriend's gonna get off work around 3, and then we're gonna go pick up his new truck. He just bought a new truck, so I'm super excited for him, and maybe I could do, like, a debut of it on our channel and, like, drive it around for you guys or something. I don't know. So here's a question, and it's something I've considered. So there are other things that I like to do. I like to do art. I like to paint and draw. I was wondering if there is, like, a desire for anything like that. I was thinking maybe I could start an Etsy channel, and, like, maybe post advertisements on here if you guys are wanting, like, personal artwork from me. I would gladly do that. Also, I used to perform with a hula hoop, and I could do some really rad tricks. Yeah, I'm a 90s kid, so I said rad. Um, but if you guys want to see, like, tutorials of that or, like, maybe just some silly little performances that I've done in the past or whatever, like, I want my channel to be exclusively trans, but also, like, a few fun things here and there, just for whatever. What was your very first job? So, my first job when I was 15, I worked at a bakery. My aunt owns a bakery, in the city that I live in, and she was like, "Hey, you can come in and work for $20 a day." I worked an 8-hour shift for $20. But I was 15 and that was, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whatever I was into at the time. So, I worked there. My first real job as an adult, I worked at a place called, Sea Rock City, in Tennessee. It's a little quiet tourist attraction. Uh, Actually, it's not too quiet because a lot of people come there, but I worked there for probably 2 years, and I ended up going back to the bakery and decorating cakes. So, that was pretty much my first job. I worked the climbing wall, and I did face paint, so I, painted on people's faces and stuff. Let's see. Let's Will dysphoria ever go away? Potentially, no, and I think you have to sign up for that whenever you start transitioning. You have to tell yourself there's a chance that it will never go away. Certain things, like for me, 2 years in, my shoulders are still a big part of my dysphoria. Also, you know, when you get bottom surgery, is it gonna be enough? Like, there's always questions that you're gonna ask. The biggest goal is to acknowledge that you're not gonna be a cisgender woman and that you can still be happy in your life. It's it's difficult, at times, but, you can only do what you can do. You only get one life, so might as well live it, the best way you know how and what makes you happy. So if dysphoria is a concern, know that it can be lifted, but not fully alleviated potentially. Some people may even alleviate it fully and never question it again and just, live happily. Tell us about your work environment. This is my work environment. I sit in front of a computer screen all day and I work on like insurance claims. I work for uh, a very well-known insurance company, which who is also the ones funding my transition. So yeah, I sit here, I do like, medical claims and that's it. That's all I do. Also YouTube is a work for me. So um, this is basically what I do. I sit in front of a screen all day. Um, Thank you, Sophia. That's very nice. Um, are you and your boyfriend getting married soon? That's a good question. He would know the answer more than I would. I'm a very traditional girl. I'm not going to be the one to propose. I'm not going to be the one to push it. I want it to be at the right time, and I want it to be special. And when we both know that we're ready. So, but potentially one day in the next few years, possibly. Um, I would be ecstatic if he ever wanted to make me his wife. Um, but, you know, that time will come if it comes. Uh, yeah, everything out of pocket would be a lot. For some reason, it's a little cheaper though. I don't know why. I guess they like to overcharge insurance people. But like my breast augmentation would have been like probably 8,000 out of pocket, but insurance was billed like 22,000, and it's like, why so much extra? You know, um, there's still so much discrimination being transgender in employment. I'm a foreign language teacher. Um, yeah, yeah. It depends on where you go and who you work for. There are a lot of people who, you know, see you. Like, when I came out to my company, they immediately had HR, like, tackle me, basically, and they were like, like, "Oh, well, just so you know, people are probably gonna misgender you at some point, like, don't raise a big stink about it," and I was like, "If they do it intentionally, like, to hurt me, like, I'm gonna raise a stink about it." Like, but at the same time, like, you kinda do have to expect things like that because I've been with my company for 3 years, and they, they knew me as the old me, and, now that we're working from home, we do, like, online meetings, and they don't get to see me every day, and they occasionally slip up and call me a "he," so that's super uncomfortable, but I think companies in general try really hard to support trans people, but I think you just have to, have you ever worried about your surgery scar? Which one? Like the my breast augmentation or a different one? Oh, well, see, that's good. If they don't know you're trans, don't make it a big deal. Don't tell them. Um, I think that's generally a safe place to be is living stealth and just not wearing it on your sleeve. But also, some people enjoy that. Some people like that experience of like having people know them truly, and there's nothing wrong with that. Why do people have to stare at you as if you're a monster? I do find that when I go shopping. Yeah, but I like to think of it as they could be staring for a lot of reasons. They could be finding you attractive. They could be, um, you know, jealous of you. Um, they could be judging you. Like, there's tons of reasons why. Um, to me, I think, well, they could be thinking about, well, her makeup looks terrible today, or, um, like, why, uh, just whatever it may be. Like, they're always going to think something of you, whether they know you're trans or not. And sometimes staring dysphoria can make it feel like they're staring because you're trans or because you're thinking that they think you're a monster or something. And yeah, it's difficult to deal with, but you know, it it takes time to deal with that. Um, you you look like her. Who? I I don't know who you're talking about. Lila or somebody else. Let's see. Just a quick pop up. Glad you're well. Hi, Lauren. Yeah, I have it. I think I have you on Facebook, actually. I think you added me on Facebook. But yeah, hi. I hope you're well as well. Have you ever considered Dr. Alter in Beverly Hills? He helped me. Um, is that for what type of surgery, or what's that specific person for? See, Mela, I think that is a possibility, and that's what my boyfriend reassures me. He's like, "They're just looking at you because 'cause you're hot. They're just checking you out." Um, oh, yeah, I get that a lot, that girl from Mean Girls. I forget her name. But yeah, that I get told I look like her and also Scarlett Johansson sometimes, and I'm like, "Mm, she's too pretty." SRS, I'm going to Dr. Wittenberg. She to me has the best track record of peritoneal pull-throughs and a um, very nice aesthetic, and the anatomy is very good, um, and it's very consistent, with each of her patients, and I'm super, like, pale complected. I don't think I'll worry too much about scarring and stuff like that. I just want the method that I want, and I wanna get it over with and be done with it and just live as a girl. Um, Lindsay Lohan, no, 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 let me figure out her name. It's the girl with the big eyes. The one that said the ESPN thing. She has ESPN with her boobs. Um, uh, no, not Regina George either. Amanda Seyfried. That's who people say I look like. Yeah. Yeah, I see that one. I see that one a lot, especially with my hair down. I tend to wear it over, like, one shoulder, but she's super pretty, so I'm like, "Oh, it's flattering." Occasionally, depending on how I do my makeup, I think I do potentially look like Scarlett Johansson a little bit, maybe, but I don't know. Um, I would like to post my, um, wedding on YouTube. I think I definitely will if I take that step and get married. I would love to post, every bit of it I can for everybody here that follows me and supports me. Does my city have a pride parade? Yeah, we do. It's relatively small. Um, it's so our community, like the LGBT slash gay slash whatever trans, all that, they tend to bicker a lot here. Like there's multiple clubbing scenes and they all kind of hate each other. So when we, go to Pride, there's like sides or whatever, but it's so much drama. I don't even like really going to Pride. I can't celebrate, being me and being happy and stuff because there's just too much drama there, honestly. Um, Thank you. Yeah, I think he's the cute one, honestly. He definitely piggybacks me a little bit on the, attractiveness. He's such a gem. I love him. What are your thoughts on orchiectomies? So, I think, it's obviously a necessary step for any kind of, sexual reassignment surgery that you wanna do or gender confirmation. Um, but to me, I feel like I would only ever do that during the SRS surgery because if you do it beforehand, you still have to take testosterone and stuff to like, your body still needs some of that. But I don't know. 3 months into HRT. I love your content. Um, it's been very helpful. You're beautiful. Oh, thank you. It's very nice. Um, oh yeah, his voice is super sexy. He's got like a super deep voice. Very hot. Um, Yeah, body feminization takes a long time. Even now, like, I think I found statistics of it, and it showed, like, how long breast growth lasts, right? So, generally, 2 years is when the breast growth caps for trans women, and then, like, fat redistribution goes all the way up to, like, 5 years, so, like, 5 plus. So, your body will constantly be changing. It's like if you never transition and you were just male, like, your body is gonna constantly change shapes over time because it's based on diet, it's based on exercise, it's based on age, all these things. So, like, when you transition, your body is getting used to, you know, where the fat is supposed to be on that gender. And also, like, based on your age, like for me, like I'm probably not gonna have a super big old perky butt anymore because I'm 28. But um, you know, uh, that's okay. I still feel like I look really hot for a 28-year-old, so that's fine. Um, red hair stepchildren. Yeah, yeah, that's very much a thing. I was a part of the performing community and the drag community and stuff like that for a while, and, like, almost every time I went in somewhere, there was a fight between 2 people or just, somebody got kicked out, somebody did something, whatever, it was just like, we're just here to make money and, like, have fun. Like, why what's with the bickering? And especially with, like, the LGBT, it's like, we're an oppressed people, so, like, why are we oppressing each other? It doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to just be pure love, pure happiness. For the most part, it is, but, like, at the same time, like, do you use much sunblock? Your skin is great. So I have to use a lot of sunblock, and that's actually why I have so many freckles is because I sunburn so easily. Um, but yeah, it's necessary for me basically anytime I go out. And if you're considering laser hair removal, you're gonna need sunscreen because if you get sun damage, it'll leave like white spots on your face. Um, uh, No, I haven't seen that. I don't really follow too many trans women. There's a few YouTubers that I follow, and even in real life, like, I don't know that many. There was one girl who, uh, I worked with, and then also worked with a trans guy. So here's a question. I asked, um, my trans guy friend if he wanted to collab on my channel and talk about some of the experiences of being a trans man. And is that something that you guys might be interested in seeing? If so, like, I will gladly have him on and see, like, his experiences versus mine and, like, how the HRT differs, how surgeries differ, the cost differences. I would love to do stuff like that, with him on my channel. So if that intrigues you guys, I know the majority of my fan base is, you know, MTF, but, um, transitioning in general is something that I wanna talk about, like changing pronouns and changing, legal things and taking hormones, all this stuff. Um, so yes and no. FTM definitely, struggles in some areas that MTF doesn't, and vice versa. Like, surgery-wise, I feel like surgery has advanced much farther for, male to female. We tend to just get better results, and female to male, they still don't, um, like the results that they're often, offered, so a lot of FTMs don't opt in for bottom surgery, which is pretty tragic because that can be a very dysphoric thing for them. Um If I get a phone call, it'll be my boyfriend, and then I'll have to dip out, but it's been a absolute pleasure talking with everybody, and, let's see. I'm on the track to get that orchiectomy. Awful speller. I was like, "What is that word?" But I read it correctly, so, job well done. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think trans men are wonderful. Let's see. Uh, I watched a couple of the UK trans guys. I don't really think there's that many American trans guys that are that popular on YouTube. Like, no offense, I just got that. Like, is that really what his intentions were? Like, I've known about this kid for so long, but I've never said his name out loud. No offense. No offense. Is that really why he did that? Is that his real name? Huh. Okay. That's fun. Um, yeah, I'd like to do 'em more, but I would like people to potentially have some time to get together some questions because I would like to, have it be, kind of a two-way thing. I'd like to speak to people directly. I would even like to potentially have somebody else join me and talk with me. I think I can do that to where I can have somebody split screen with me and just chat, but, um anywho, I think I have said about all I can say today. We're gonna go pick up my boyfriend's truck, and um, I may even post a picture for you guys because he's gonna be super stoked. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and if anybody has any questions for later, feel free to save them for me because I would like to do this more often, maybe once a week or once every couple weeks. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for upcoming stuff, I will gladly, go over anything and um, anything you guys want to know, anything you want to talk about. Um, I'm here to, you know, benefit other people by sharing my personal experiences, and I really thoroughly enjoy doing that and just talking to people and having a good time. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.